Hey everyone, my name is Josiah Mustaleski and this is my in the bag for the start of the 2021 season. So I like to do things from putter to driver, so let's start with my putting putters. I like to putt with the Classic Soft Guard, inspired definitely by Michael Holt. If you haven't checked out his channel, be sure to do that. I'll put a link to his channel in the description. Great disc golfer, content creator, does a lot of fun stuff in the North Carolina area, but he used these for a while, recently switched to the Keystone, but he's what got me hooked on these. Really love them as a putter. They're super straight. Classic Soft is super grippy, super gummy. Even in rain, I know I just have to dry it off. I have a great grip on it. I just really love it as a putter. It's too deep to throw for me. I tend to just grip it because it has a really deep rim, but otherwise love it for putting. On to my throwing putters. I have 3 currently. They're really the only ones I use. I have this Warden in the Fusion Burst plastic. I don't use it a whole lot. It's my more overstable throwing putter for sure. It flies much more overstable than the flight numbers would suggest if you get one, or at least for me, this one does. So I use it if there's any wind or anything. The thing I like about it is once it starts to hyzer, it seems to glide while hyzering, and I really like that about it. So Warden's my overstable one. I have this Discmania bar stamp Sensei. It's super beat up. I don't know if you can tell, there's a giant warp right there. I hit a tree with it. This thing is a turnover putter, but super grippy. Really like it. It was really straight before, and now it's a nice, it'll just turn for a long time. It has late turn too, so I can flip it actually up and then it'll start to turn. It's a really nice disc. And then my main throwing putter, I throw this thing all the time. This is kind of a little bit of a beat Star AVR3. It was actually my brother's for a while. I kind of stole it because I really needed one. And I just really love this thing. It's not super overstable, but it's stable. I can put this thing flat or a little bit of anhyzer. It'll hold the anhyzer, flat it'll go straight, hyzer it'll hold hyzer. It holds every angle I put on it. Really love this thing on holes probably up to like 275. Onto my mid-ranges. I have quite a few because I really need to work on my mid-range game. So to start it off, I have this Discmania mystery box stamped Origin from the Simon Lizotte mystery box. This thing is flippy. I know it's only a -1 turn, but it is way flippier than that for me. It could just be something with my form or how I release it, but it's a turnover mid-range for sure. But it's really nice for holes that I don't feel like I can get a forehand there, and so I just throw a nice turnover mid-range or uphill holes that I need it to turn. It's a really nice disc. Next we have a Discmania 2020 Trilogy Challenge Bounty. This thing I love. It's a nice flip up or flat to ride. It doesn't turn. So that's the thing I really love about this disc is it doesn't turn. It just rides a little bit right. And I really love it for that. I love the feel of this disc. It's one that I could maybe learn to forehand as a mid-range. Probably wouldn't because I feel like it's too flippy, but really great disc. I really love the Bounty. Super great, just ride to the right disc. Next we have my straight mid-range is a Champion Mako 3. For the longest time I couldn't throw this disc without it just fluttering and turning over, but I took a long time to figure out my form and make it really clean, and now this thing, it holds pretty much any angle I give it. I mean, I can throw it with a little hyzer, it'll stand up some, but flat, it'll just go flat. Maybe a little turn, but if I give it anhyzer, it'll hold the anhyzer. So really great disc, really touchy disc, and I need to learn to throw more of these touchy discs that I have. Next I have this Big Germ Recon mortar. This is not usually in my bag. I lost my approach disc, my forehand approach disc a little bit ago. It was a Tactic. I put this back in. This is what I used before I got that Tactic. And it's great. I really like it. But hopefully I'll be replacing this. This is one of the ones that I might replace. I'll be replacing it hopefully soon with I think I'm gonna try a Harp from Westside. So But I really like this mortar. It's a great approach disc, even though it is a mid-range technically. I really like its stability and its feel in my hand for forehands. And it's also good backhand, hold straight and then go. Really good disc. Next, I have two Justices. So the first one is actually my first Ace disc. This is just a Lucid Justice. I love the Justice. Anyone who hasn't tried a Justice from Dynamic Discs needs to try a Justice. They're so amazing for scrambling, just for drives that you need something to hyzer. For forehands, I really like the feel of them. They're so dependable in any wind, any situation. You know that they're not going to turn over. They're just going to hyzer out. And I really like them. They're always pushing forward when they hyzer. They're not just stalling out and fading. So really love this disc. My second one, so this is my driving Justice. I should clarify, this is my driving Justice. I usually throw this off the tee. And then this is my Scramble Justice. It's a little flatter top. It's a Moonshine Justice with a St. Patrick's Day Classic stamp on it or something like that. And it's just a really flat top. I love it for forehands, for scrambling. So this is my Scramble Justice, and this is my driving Justice. All right, onto the fairways. I have 7 of them. So I don't use fairways a whole lot. I don't use them as much as I should, but I have them because I know I need to learn them. So first off, we have this cool dripping Discmania Active Premium Genius. It's my roller disc. There's not much more to say about it. It's a great roller disc. It's actually pretty good for tomahawks. It'll flip over really fast and skid, so if you need something to just get down and slide, if you have a scramble option where our only ways go up and over, I really like this for a tomahawk throw. But mostly it's my roller. I have this Lucid Maverick, also inspired to get this by Holt. This one's flippier than he makes his Mavericks seem. I still don't understand how he does that, but I need to learn to use this more because I feel like it's a great woods disc. So this is one I have to learn to throw better. Next, this is a new one. I actually got this just the other day. Prodigy F2. I have a friend that I play with a lot who loves this disc. He has one that he's had for like 7 years now. And I really love this disc. I love this plastic. It's super like almost like bendy, I guess is the right word, this 400 plastic. This F2 is flippy for an F2. I can put it on hyzer and it'll stand up. If I throw it flat, it'll actually coast. And if I give it an hyzer, it'll just coast and hold it the whole way. But really love this. This is my straight woods disc, I guess. That's what I use it for. It's just straight shots, forehand and backhand. Really love this disc. Next, I have an Essence. What was it? A Geo Essence. I couldn't remember if it was Geo or Neo. This thing is flip, so hyzer flip to turn to fade back. Really love this disc. It's not as flippy as the -2 on the flight numbers would suggest, but really like it. I really do like this disc. Feels good in the hand. It's kind of flat on top, which I really like. I've never thrown it forehand though because I think it's too flippy. But this is kind of my big distance fairway. This thing will go just as far as my distance drivers if I get it just right. Next, I have an old run of Stalker. I'm pretty sure this is a very old run Stalker because it looks blunt, almost. It flies at the speed of like my mid-ranges. It's really weird. I don't understand it, but I love it. It's straight and straight and straight, and when you think it's gonna fade, it might, but it's usually pretty straight. This is touchy disc. I didn't have it in the bag for a long time because it was too touchy for me and I couldn't get it. But then, like I said, I work on my form, and now I can throw it really well, and I really like this disc and trust it on straight shots where I don't have a ceiling. Because it flies like a mid-range, it likes to get up in the air. So when I don't have a ceiling, I turn to the Stalker. Next, I have this Escape. So I love this disc for one thing. But for a second thing, it's gotten beat in. And I just put it back in because I want to try and figure it out again because it has so much glide. It just glides and glides and glides and glides and glides and glides. It never stops gliding, and it's so amazing for that. But right now it's pretty much like a tailwind driver, and hyzer flip it to flat, a little bit of turn, fade back. But if I don't have a tailwind, it's just gonna hyzer flip and then turn and carry it, which is a good slot to have. but I don't really need that. I mean, I do need that. I don't use that a lot. So, yeah, escape. And next we have this Lucid Felon. This thing, I got it and it was so amazing. And then I hit so many trees with it that it turns, which is crazy. If I throw this thing flat, it will turn, which is crazy for a Felon, I know. But I hit a tree just right and warped it just right, and it's gotten a little understable. But I still have it. I still use it primarily for forehands. I can get a little bit of flip to flat and then dump. And it still dumps. Once it starts to dump, it dumps and dumps and dumps. That's what I love about this disc, is that even new, it'll go straight and then dump. It's not like a Firebird where it'll just keep carrying to the left for right-hand backhand. So, really great disc, love the Felon. I'm probably getting a new one of these soon to put in a slot somewhere so that I have a more overstable one. Alright, distance drivers. I have a few of these. First one is this Champion Mamba. I had a dark pink one of these that I lost, and I found this one with no number on it at my home course. It's newer, it's stable. I love it as a roller. I mean, even if I put it on this much angle, it really doesn't flip that much. And once it gets on the ground, it's so stable, so stable for a roller. I mean, it has, what, a -5 turn? This thing's not, it doesn't fly like that. Or at least I don't think it does, but it's very stable. It's my stable roller. The Genius is my flippy roller. And yeah, I really like this disc. That's pretty much all I have it for. I'm gonna try using it for like turnover shots or maybe uphill hyzer flip to flat shots. Next, I have this Discmania X Out Glow C-Line PD3. This is a meat hook. I don't deserve to be throwing this thing. I know I don't need to have it in my bag because it's such a meat hook, but I love it anyway. It gets so much skip off the ground. It's great for skip shots. I don't throw it forehand. I have nowhere near that amount of control or power for that matter. But I really love it for skip shots and for things that I just know I need to hyzer or headwind. If I need something to really hyzer in a headwind, I'll pull out the PD3. On to my really distance drivers, like speed 12 and up. I have this, I actually have two of these. I have two Enigmas. I have this Lux Enigma that I've beat in to be pretty flippy, honestly. I only use it if there's no wind or maybe a little tailwind. But this is my crusher, man. It's a 169 Enigma. I love this disc. I love the feel of it for backhand and forehand. This is probably my main distance disc. I love this disc so much. And I have another one in neoplastic that I just got recently because I needed one that was more stable. And this thing holds up to a headwind like nobody's business. I mean, I threw this into probably like a 5-6 mile per hour headwind, like straight headwind, open field, straight headwind. And it came out of my hand flat. It just barely turned and held it and then came back. It was like a 440 foot drive or something like that. Admittedly, slightly downhill, but into a headwind. I parked the hole for eagle with this thing. This thing is amazing into a headwind, which is exactly what I wanted it for, and I love that about it, that I bought it for a purpose, and it fulfills that purpose. But yeah, the Enigma, great distance driver in my opinion. Next, I have this S-Line DD3, also a new edition. I just wanted to try one. I'm curious, I've always wanted to try more destroyer alikes, and so that's why I got this DD3. It's a 169 gram DD3. This run I think is pretty flippy for DD3s from what I'm finding out. But I really like it. It'll hyzer flip for me to flat and then just ride flat and then fade pretty hard. If I give it a little Annie, can't talk today. If I give it a little Annie, it'll ride it and then fade, which is exactly what I wanted it for. Again, those Enigmas are a little more flippy, I think, because they have less fade. So they don't come out of things as fast as this DD3. I really love it. Next, I have a Zeus. This thing is a meat hook. This flies probably more like a destroyer should. Esp Zeus. Man, this thing, as thrown as hard as my others, will go 50 feet less. Why, I don't know, but 40 to 50 feet less distance, overstable, And I love it for that, because I know that on like a 350-foot hole, I can just pull this out. I don't have to worry about necessarily like speed control or power control. I know I can just pull this out and throw it the same as everything else, and it's just gonna hyzer in at that distance, which is why I keep it in the bag. If I didn't need it for that slot, I probably wouldn't still use it, just because I feel like it's too overstable. I might keep it just to beat it in, but I do like the feel of it. I really like this ESP plastic. I like the feel of it for forehands once I can use it for that. Next, I have this Axiom Mayhem. I found this on my home course as well, like a day after I found that Mamba I told you about. This thing I really like. It's pretty beat up. The stamp is virtually gone, but I really like it. It's a great disc. It's flippier than my Flippy Enigma. So I usually use it for uphill shots that I want to flip to flat, maybe even turn a little bit before it fades back, or tailwind. That's the other thing I'll use it for, because it's nice and flippy, and I think a tailwind driver is a good thing to have, because you don't want things that are just gonna hold your, like, you don't want your, what you think is your flippy driver to just hold a flat instead of turn in a tailwind. And if I get this right, this will turn in a tailwind and ride it. And so I really, really love this disc. It's also great for my forehand. I can flip it up, get it to turn and fade. And last but not least, we have a Star Boss with a really, really sick stamp. I don't know if you guys can see that, but super sick stamp. 10th anniversary. I guess you can look it up. It's the 10th anniversary Boss stamp. It's like a video game theme and whatnot. Super cool disc. Really, really like it. It's kind of beat. This is another one I found that we contacted the guy. He didn't respond. So after a couple months of it being up on local pages and whatnot for him to take, I claimed it, started using it, and I really, really, really like it. It's a little bit beat. If I throw it flat, it holds flat for so long before it fades. This is my overstable driver. So I have that Zeus. That's my shorter overstable driver. And then this is my overstable driver, just flat to fade versus flip to flat to fade. So really love this Star Boss. It's super great. Also forehands. Use it for forehands. Overstable forehands. I like the flat top. It feels good in my hand. So. And then I have my PDGA Mini in here. It's not the one I use. The one I use is actually not in here. Don't know why. It's a Star Innova rainbow colored Mini. I use it all the time. It's my main Mini. Got a little soda topper Mini thing from Discraft, and my hand cross. So, and towels and whatnot. But yeah, that's it for the discs. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. You can always unsubscribe later if you decide that I'm getting annoying. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.